Boy, it is a nice looking car, isn't she? But she's not ready yet. I thought after yesterday's test drive that the Fusion did real well, and I thought it was road ready, and so we could start working on the body work and start getting it prepped for paint. Unfortunately though, let's see if I can take you guys underneath here so you can get a better look. Now it's dried up now. Yeah, you can't tell. I need to get this back in the garage and take this wheel off because we have a leak, and I'm pretty sure it's the axle seal over here for the left side. And so we're gonna get this back in the garage and kind of dig into it and see what we can find. There we go, car's back in the garage, got the wheel off, and I'll go over here where the car was parked, and then you can see the big spot on the ground. Now everything around it is from, well, that's from the BMW, I believe, and then everything back here is from doing the brake work on the Pontiac. But right there, that big spot comes from the Fusion. And if you come over and look at this splash shield that goes underneath, that corner there where it's real dark sits underneath where the leak is, and you can tell it's been leaking for quite a while. And then if we get down here in the wheel well, let's take a look at, hopefully you guys can see here, let me get the light on. Right in here, and it's gonna be hard to get the camera in there for you. But right in there where the light's at, I'm not sure if you can see or not, but that's where the leak is, right where the axle seal is. And I guess this is a common issue for this particular transmission. Based on just a little bit of research last night. So what we're going to have to do is take out the CV axle and go get a new one and replace it, and that should take care of the issue. So it's not too big of a deal. And once we get that replaced, it should take care of the issue. So, and then fingers crossed, hopefully the car is roadworthy. So let's get to work. There we go. It's a good way to reuse the zip ties that Copart uses to attach their keys to the steering wheels. Okay, now we just got to start taking the hub apart and work our way back to the axle. Alright guys, so we had to order this part from Ford. None of the part stores had it. This is the axle bearing that goes inside the transmission. So once we get it, we'll get this all put back together and get the wheels back on and go for a drive. But it is going to take a couple days to get the part, so until then, either I'll start working on the inside or we might switch over and work on the BMW. We'll see. Okay guys, so it's a brand new day and we are still waiting on the part for the CV axle there. So while we're waiting, because it's still going to be a couple more days, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the inside and see if we can figure out why the SRS module is not communicating with the car. Might be just a loose connection with the plugs, hard to say. But if we can get that working, then I go ahead and start putting the center console back together, and that'll pretty much finish up the inside. But before we start tackling that, we need to go ahead and disconnect the battery before we start messing with the airbags. Okay guys, so I'm going to try to work on this without actually removing the whole center console. You can see the SRS module right there at the bottom. We have the two plugs plugging into it. And I don't know if they're loose. We'll find out. You know, because everything else in this center console was tore apart or unplugged. So maybe whoever did all this tried to unhook those too. But there's also some type of sticky residue or soda pop or something that spilled all over the inside. You can see it's all over the plastic as well on the SRS module itself. So I want to try to just disconnect those, maybe clean the connectors, and then we'll plug it back in and then see if that takes care of the issue. And if not, then we'll probably have to tear this whole center console out. Alright, so what I'm going to use to wipe this down is some electronic and screen wipes, just to make sure I don't damage anything with any chemicals or whatnot. Look at that, that's nasty. And I did check the fuse the other day to the restraint system, and the fuse actually tested out fine. Went ahead and replaced it just to make sure, and that did not fix our problem, so it definitely wasn't a fuse. Alright guys, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I did get this cleaned up the best I can. You can tell the rags are all nasty, and I don't know if this will work or not. I went ahead and just unplugged the two plugs down here that go into the SRS module. Just unplugged those and plugged them back in, and just kind of cleaned them up the best I could. There's still a little bit of gunk on them, but not anywhere where it caused any issues. And I don't know, well, I guess we'll connect the battery again and then see if our airbag light goes away. Yeah, we're still getting the same error. So, lost communication with restraints occupant classification system module A. So I'm not going to worry about this right now. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put the interior back together here to make sure we're not missing any pieces, and make sure there's nothing broken. So if we need to get something, we can go out and get it. And then once we get this car up and running, then I'll come back in here and mess with the SRS module at a later day. Alright guys, so before I go in or before I start to put all this back in the car, I'm going to go ahead and wipe everything down because they are nasty. So let me grab some wipes. I know it's kind of dark in here, sorry about that. But first thing first, let's go ahead and put this in. Yeah, let me go ahead and clean that, that's disgusting. We're gonna grab a fresh wipe here, this car is gross. Put this up here. Let me grab some of those other pieces real quick. Alright. So I know that goes Looking better. What the hell is that? It's like a vaping thing. It's got batteries in it too. Okay, throw that out. Alright. That looks a lot better. Okay guys, so the car is looking more and more complete. Of course, we'll have to tear all this back out probably to mess with the airbag module, but for now, it's looking pretty good. Alright, while I'm at it guys, I already have these wipes out. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down the dash and get the little pieces of glass that's still there. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and use one of these screen wipes to wipe off the screen. Alright, this car's cleaning up pretty good, guys. Check that out, look at that shine. Alright guys, so it's dark in the garage, so I'm not going to try to record me cleaning the inside of the car. Let's kind of give you a before and after look here of, well, if you can see it, of all the dirt and grime on the doors and all over the interior. And then may not be able to get to the back because, oh, by the way, there's something else I picked up at the salvage yard at the pick and pull last time and just forgot to show it to you. It's a rear spoiler. So it's actually the same color of the car, but like I said, we'll probably end up painting the car anyway. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and tackle this, and I'll show you the end result here in just a little bit. Check out the driver compartment here. Now, once we get this all done and get it outside in the sun, I'll do a better walk around, but they really cleaned up pretty nice. Yeah, sorry about the lighting here. But here, let me show you guys real quick something else I found we're missing. Kind of a weird thing, actually. So I pulled out the back seat, first of all, because it was kind of halfway snapped into place. And check out all the dirt. Can you guys see that? Look at all the dirt and grime and trash. And definitely had kids back here. You got some Legos and crowns, and I'm not sure about all the dirt though, why there's so much dirt back here. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you is we're missing a seat belt. Why on earth would someone take the seat belt out? There's one on the other side, but we're definitely missing one here, so we'll have to buy one of those. Maybe that'll be another pick and pull trip. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits for now. We did get most of the interior wiped down. Got leather treatment on the leather. Vacuumed the carpets. We still need to shampoo the carpets. And of course we got the center console put back together. So for now we'll call it good. But let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. Oh, and by the way, not just one seat belt was cut, but two seat belts are cut. So we have this one here that's cut, and then we have the middle one. that's cut, so we'll definitely need to get a couple more seat belts. And I'll come in with my steam cleaner and clean up this back area. If I did get it vacuumed out, but there's a lot of gunk back here. It's almost like they hold dirt in the back seat. And the carpet didn't vacuum clean, but we'll definitely, and it's dark back here, but we'll definitely get it shampooed and get some better, we'll get some better video of it when it's out in the sun. You can see inside better. But for now, guys, I'm going to call it quits. And it's about 75 out, maybe close to 80 degrees, so it's a very beautiful day. And I may just go for a little moto ride and cool off. So I don't know if this will be the end of this video, but we'll catch you soon once we get our part in and finish up the front axle, and then we'll get this out of the garage and go for another spin. All right, so as I'm getting caught up on some editing, I just got the call, and our part that we ordered, which is that axle bearing that Toby always has to say hi, it is finally in. This is actually the second time ordering it. That's why it's taken so long to get this done, because the first bearing it ordered was actually the wrong size. So we had to wait an extra week, but it should be in, so I'm going to go pick it up, and we'll get back and get that put back together, and we'll go for a drive and see if it fixes that leak or not. Okay. We'll get lucky and just go right in. All right, guys, so it has been a few days since we have since we replaced that axle seal, but as you can see behind me here, the car is back in the garage with the hood up and the wheel off. So that must mean there's still something wrong, and there is. So, and I'll be the first to admit I screwed up, because the leak is still there. In fact, it's a little worse than it was. And well, here, I'll just kind of show you. I don't know what you guys can see here, but it's still pretty wet around the same areas. I know it's hard to kind of get the camera in there so you can see what I'm looking at, but taking a look at it, it looks like it's the seal, but, and this is my fault for not taking a couple extra minutes of getting my head up in the wheel well and really taking a look at the car. But when you get up in there, above the axle, you can tell that it's not really the axle seal. What's leaking is actually engine coolant. And way up on top here, after I removed the decorative cover and got the air box out of the way, there is a coolant hose that plugs in right there. It's hard to, right there. And you could tell it had been leaking out of the end. In fact, was it this end? But anyway, so then this line goes from the coolant reservoir right here into the upper hose. So I went ahead and went to Ford and got us a new one. So we'll go ahead and plug that in and top off the coolant. And then I'll put the wheel back on, get the jack out, and then we'll go for another drive.
2,000 years later.
Alright guys, check it out. I know there's a lot of stains. Most of it's paint from painting the Mustang. But the concrete in the garage is dry. So after I finished putting the new coolant hose in the Fusion, I went on probably a 40-mile test drive and then parked it overnight. And so far looking good. So I think we fixed the leak. So now it's time to go ahead and finish up putting the back seat back together. I did go out to the salvage yard the other day to grab some new seat belts, and I've grabbed a whole new back seat because the seat belt is actually, or the middle seat belt's actually built into the seat, so it's just easier and quicker just to grab a whole new seat back. So I didn't record going out there because I was in a hurry. They only had about an hour before they closed, so I went straight to the car that I knew had what we needed, and it was the same car we got the dome light out of from our previous trip. So I'll go ahead and get the camera set up. Hopefully I'll get it where we'll get some decent light. It is nice sunny out, so hopefully the sunlight will help us with the lighting. And let's get to work. Alright guys, so there's one more bolt back here I gotta get. There's no way for me to get the camera in there, so I'll go ahead and get it and I'll be right back. Alright guys, that bolt's out. Now we should be able to pull the seat out. Yay, found a quarter, making my money back. Sweet. Okay, now while we got the seat out, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the side seat belt here. And that might be a challenge to get out, but we'll find out. Okay, so there's no way to get the camera in here to show you what I'm doing. But what we're gonna do is, there's another T-bolt, or Torx bolt, holding the seat belt in over here. So we're gonna go ahead and get that out and replace that seat belt. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we've got the replacement belt installed, got the plastic back in place. Let's go ahead and grab our seat and we'll get it installed. Alright guys, it is getting late and it looks like it's about to storm, so I did get everything put back together in the back. Let me go ahead and show you the final result here. Of course, everything went together just fine. It was just a bolt-on replacement. But we got seat belts in the back again. Went ahead and put some leather treatment on the seats. And I also went in and shampooed the carpet and vacuumed it. Of course, we'll have to do it again. It's still pretty dirty. And I found some floor mats up in my attic, which I think the ones here we're looking at in the back go to my Jeep, and the ones in the front here go to my 2007 Mustang. So that'll work temporarily, and I'll buy some floor mats for the car later. But now that we got the car all put together, and the next video we'll probably be tearing it apart again. So I'll go ahead and start working on the body work, take the front bumper off and fix it. and just kind of see where that takes us. So, and if you guys haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.